I know unfinished beats. You know what I mean? Like when it was on with me. That's like if you see niggas who moving and got a problem, that's because they didn't do what they supposed to do, or they got something. You know what I mean? Like with me, it was like, hey, when I did it, I was good at what I did.
Oh yeah, we back with another episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you the news with a twist. And well, we left on page 30, right in that 31 area.
You think James you got back, or like jury, or some shit?
Bro, I be getting shit back and don't even know I get it back. Niggas just lie and say I called. You know what I mean? Like,
further solicits donations to the developing options from celebrities, companies, foundations, other entities, which victims' donors believe to have furthered a charitable purpose. Instead are embezzled into Hanley's personal bank account. As discussed in further details below, Hanley, Robinson, and Martin and other BIGU enterprise co-conspirators utilized development options as a platform to conduct both violent and financial crimes under the guise of gang intervention work. Hanley has also fraudulently applied for federal pandemic relief loans for his entities, including development options, unique music, and other businesses. The loan and advances are successfully obtained and discussed further below. Hanley and Martin helped one of their employees at Developing Options, i.e. Blanton, fraudulently apply for a mortgage by fixing up his income records, manipulating his income records. The BIGU enterprise is committed to financially enriching its members and associates by stealing or cheating its victims out of money or property. Oh yeah, for example, when subpoenaed for such information, Developing Options provided no documents certifying or signifying compliance with the GRYD handbook or any of its contractual obligations. Okay, and for those who don't remember, the GRD handbook is basically what he needs to do and keep up with compliant in order to be receiving the funds for his charities. Now, D, we're getting into the racketeering activity and the murder of RW. That's right. For those who don't remember who RW was one of the artists on Unique Eugene's label. And well, at a certain period of time, they found him missing. Well, he wasn't missing. They found him dead in a ditch in Las Vegas. Now, let's see what they say happened. As set forth below, there is a probable cause to believe that Hanley murdered RW, the victim, on January 25th of 2021 and dragged his body to the desert in North Las Vegas. On that morning, Las Vegas detectives discovered the body of RW lying in the desert near the Apex landfill. RW had been shot multiple times and his body had been dragged and left in a ditch not far from Interstate 15. Hours before his homicide, RW was at the studio of Witness 2 with Hanley. So, RW, whoever's at the studio with RW is going to be Witness 2. The Las Vegas detectives' investigation revealed that RW was one of Hanley's recording artists and was at the studio as a guest of Hanley, recording for Unique Music, the independent record label that Hanley and Martin co-founded. According to a studio witness, Witness 1, who was employed as security for the recording studio, Hanley was one of the last people seen with RW prior to RW's homicide. Witness 1, who is the security guard at that studio, also stated that Robinson drove Hanley to Las Vegas from Los Angeles in a gray dark Lexus, and that Witness 1, in his security capacity, encountered Hanley and Robinson when they came and arrived at the studio and had words with them because he did not know that they were there. Oh, he didn't know who they was. Witness 1's statement to the Vegas police at the onset of the murder investigation had been corroborated by other witnesses and cell phone location data, among other evidence. Further investigation revealed motive opportunity obstruction. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And more from Hanley and other members and associates of BIGU. Basically, they said that they had some funny statements too. Now, while witness one has no criminal connections, or criminal convictions, he has misappropriated money from his employers and has a civil money judgment entered against him that he paid back. Okay.
Yeah, I know a motherfucker that did a robbery out of somebody's house for $500.
Right.
And the little niggas then gave the money back to him because they used my name. And then I called and found out, wait a minute. The little niggas like, man, uncle, we gave the money back. So you gave what money back? And I'm mad because I don't give money back. You can get jewelry back.
Now, basically they were talking about the security guard. He don't got no real priors or anything, but he was in seems like a civil lawsuit where he owed some money. So that's one way to figure out who that person is. The murder and the connection to the BIGU enterprise. So a day before the murder, before they found the body. Wait, they found that body on the 25th or the 21st? Okay, they found the body on the 25th. So on January 20th of that same year in 21, 5 days before the murder and 3 days before Hanley and Robinson drove from LA to Vegas, well, RW recorded a diss. Oh no. Short for disrespect. He recorded a diss track that the Vegas police later obtained. In it, RW rapped about the person who had the money. That RW would be shot in the face for thinking shit's funny. The referenced a .38 revolver with, well, no trace. Based on the knowledge of this investigation and conversation with others, it is believed that Hanley was the subject of the diss track. Yeah, RW was dissing BIGU, referring to Hanley as the bro that can make some money, and that RW may get shot in the face. He actually rapped about all of this happening before it happened. For thinking his lackadaisical issues of the studio, which is pretty much what happened. And general representation by unique music is funny. RW was eventually shot in the face later, apparently with, well, a revolver like a .38. That left, you guessed it, no shell casings. It's unknown whether Hanley heard these lyrics prior to the murder, or if that was just Hanley's favorite gun. The effectiveness of the BIGU enterprise is premised on Hanley's stature as the most feared man in LA. As such, ensuring that no one disrespects Hanley and that any such perceived disrespect is met with violence. Oh yeah, is a core tenet of BIGU enterprise. Yo, look. That's how it's handled. And even more so when that disrespect is displayed publicly, like in front of extortion victims.
My mind is 4 levels of gangbanger. of cripping. So it's the gangbanger, the nigga who's banging on you every day. What set you from? Nigga, where you from? The gang, ready to gun you down, young niggas. That lasts about 5 years. Then it's the gang, you know, like he's gaming, but he ain't really in it. He's from the hood, but he ain't banging no more. But he still representing the hood. He own the block, he getting his money on the block, and he know 1 or 2 dudes from other sets from jail.
As Hanley himself stated on an intercepted call in 2003. Oh yeah, they were listening. They got them taps going. It said, can't no beef with me, cause if he do, I'ma kill him. Period. I am going to murder him. No questions asked. These were quoted words from a conversation back in 2023. As Robinson explained,
then the next level is a nigga who just, he not in the hood like that no more. Got a family doing what he doing, but he gonna pull up and he's still rocking, but he got a bunch of niggas he own another life. Then that's me. That's the nigga who's totally 100% out the shit. Right. I got a bunch of niggas, but I can go influence the hood. Right. I can go, you know what I'm saying, and do the things. And so they look at us. That's me, S-Mac, Big D, F-Bone, all us niggas who still like, this is our babies. Like, nigga, we gonna tell you how the block gonna go, cause we ain't never shitted on the block. We ain't got no spoils on the block. Right. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, this still our block. Right. You can't be no nigga that just came on the block 2 years and tell us what the fuck to do. No, nigga, cause I still got this hammer.
As Robinson explained in his recordings, when Hanley got out, he said, I'm the toughest one. And Here's my body of work to prove it. And you know, I'm the only still killing today. You blanks retired. They don't understand that. Basically, he's saying I'm the only one out here still hitting the shank button on people. Everybody else that's old like me, they don't retire. But y'all don't get it. I don't retire. I'm the Green Goblin, the goon. Because the Big U enterprise relies and thrives off of fear and violence, perception is paramount.
Yeah, boy.
As Witness 2 explained, Hanley, through the Big U enterprise entity, Unique Music, was using Witness 2 expensive, valuable studio to record the Big U's enterprise artist RW for free, based on fear power imposed over Witness 2 by the Big U enterprise for years. Oh wow. So
Got him. Got him.
so they're saying that Witness 2 happens to be the owner of this expensive, valuable studio where Big U was having his artist basically record out of for free based off of fear and the power dynamic imposed over Witness 2 by Big U's enterprise for years. And by taking a lackadaisy approach to the studio time the Big U enterprise had secured for free, RW was wasting that time. I believe that RW wasted the time, thereby despairing Hanley's name, basically running it through the mud, and the Big U enterprise reputation, and potentially flaunting that disrespect with the lyrics of the diss song, led to the departure of Williams. That's right. I know it says dispute of Williams, but we know that that dispute led to a departure, and he was gone. So, RW and that dispute turned deadly, like I said. Throughout the investigation, no investigators, family members, witness, or third party has ever identified any individuals that would have motive or opportunity to murder RW except Hanley. And discussed hereon, Hanley's motive for murdering RW was in the interest of the Big U enterprise. And they tying that back to the enterprise, man. This is how they get them RICO charges, and you know they already pulled the money in. So, Hanley's cell phone location corroborates his involvement with RW's murder. That's not good. I have reviewed cell phone location information obtained via search by Las Vegas police for 2 phones associated with Hanley at the time, during and after the murder. Witness 1 and Witness 2, one of RW's friends who was visiting him from Vegas that day was from the day he was murdered, as well as looking at Hanley's phone records. Hanley and Robinson arrived in Vegas on the 23rd. The night before the murder, Hanley's phone location data and witnesses showed that he arrived at an Airbnb on Round Dog Drive in Vegas. The Airbnb RW was staying in prior to the homicide. The Airbnb in the middle of the night. Hanley, through Unique Music, was paying for the Airbnb. Surveillance footage from in front of that Airbnb showed a dark gray silver sedan arriving to it and leaving shortly after. The surveillance video also showed Hanley at the Airbnb. On January 24th, 2021, the night of the murder, around 7:04, Hanley arrived to the studio, according to witnesses. At approximately 8 or around 9, RW arrived at the studio and recorded a song
Yeah, boy.
until about midnight, from 11 to midnight. Now, on January 25th, at approximately 12:30 in the morning, Hanley left the studio. And that gray dark Lexus in which Robinson had driven to the studio was no longer at the studio. Approximately around 1 in the morning, Hanley's phone stopped reporting locations of any kind, with the last data recording within the vicinity of the studio. But he managed to get rid of some location data. So at approximately 1:13 in the morning, surveillance footage shows that the Airbnb again revealed a gray, dark, or silver sedan arriving to the Airbnb. RW exited the passenger side of the vehicle and entered the Airbnb. A few minutes later, approximately at 1:20, RW exited the Airbnb with a suitcase. They put that suitcase in the trunk and got into that gray, dark sedan, which pulled off. The Airbnb, though it was rented for another day, and RW was not set to leave until the flight was scheduled the following day, both of Hanley's phones did not begin reporting data again until 2:15 in the morning. That was pretty quick. Based on investigators' test drives and research, the drive from the studio to the Airbnb would take about 17 minutes. After Hanley's phone stopped reporting location data when they left the vicinity of the studio, the dark sedan arrived with RW at the Airbnb 15 minutes later, which is consistent with the traffic patterns after midnight. The drive from the Airbnb to the location of where RW's body was found and then to the location where Hanley's phone began reporting again would take about 42 minutes. The time from when RW left the Airbnb to when Hanley's phone began reporting again is 48 minutes. Approximate time for the drive, the murder, and moving the body, particularly in the middle of the night without traffic. Wow. In 2021 Drink Champs interview, Hanley discussed the difficulty of getting away with crimes in the modern day because of the phone, and the location tells all. Yo, bro. So earlier this year, you committed allegedly earlier this year, you committed a crime where you murdered him. I don't know when that Drink Champs episode took place, but I'm gonna check it out. All I know is later on in the year, you don't win on Drink Champs and they got you for this, talking about how murder and getting away with it is hard to do crimes. Like, that's backwards. That's backwards. Okay? One of Hanley's phones then made a call to Robinson, who witness number 1 reported was still at the studio, which is corroborated by Robinson's phone location data. According to witness 1, Robinson asked witness 1 if he had seen Hanley, which witness 1 found odd since Robinson was Hanley's driver and bodyguard.
It came out, and I mean, I don't rap, I scrap. And this is my neighborhood, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is my land, this is my piece of rock. I fought for this, nigga. I ain't gave this up. I'm still here every single day. You know what I'm saying?
At approximately 2:30 or 3 a.m., Hanley returned to the studio alone in that gray dark Lexus and spoke to witness 1, who reported that Hanley appeared to be drenched in either sweat or water. Hanley told witnesses that he was just coming back from the gym. RW's body was found hours later at approximately 9 a.m. One of the Vegas detectives investigating the murder believed RW died at the location near the side of the road on I-15 after observing the roadway contained the distant patch of blood, which trailed down the hill from the roadway into the desert, along with the drag marks. Hanley's phone location data shows that he departed Vegas and returned to LA at approximately 10 a.m. Now, here's where they got some evidence from the scene. Officers and medical professionals responded to the scene of RW's murder, and subsequent autopsy found that RW died from multiple gunshots. Whew. The responders noted that RW was not dressed for the weather, which was cold, and DNA was collected from RW's knuckles/sock area consistent with the direction of RW was dragged in with the desert of the highway, off the highway. The DNA profile obtained was not complete, likely due to inclement weather on the night of the murder. Now, when Hanley's DNA profile was inconclusive, such that he could not be excluded as the contributor of the DNA. Robinson, on the other hand, was excluded as potential contributor of the DNA found on RW. Hanley arranged for the recording equipment from the studio to be removed and surveillance videos to be destroyed. Witness 1 told the detectives that DS Hanley's associate removed recording equipment from the studio a couple days after the homicide, including destruction of surveillance video data that would have shown RW and Hanley at the studio shortly before the murder. Witness 2 told the FBI that Hanley ordered Witness 1 and 2 to leave the premises, quote unquote, take a walk, prior to the removal of the video's recording equipment. Witness 1 explained that three relatively new surveillance or working DVR devices had been removed from the studio and all of the security cameras were disabled. Witness 1 stated that replacement DVRs were installed, but they did not work. Witness 3, who had previously installed the DVR equipment at the recording studio, also spoke with the FBI, according to Witness 3 on January 31st. Witness 3 went to the studio to fix video cameras that were not working at the studio. After Witness 2 called Witness 3 to fix them, Witness 3 analyzed the equipment and concluded that the DVR system was unplugged or turned off, according to Witness 1. DS sent him money to purchase new equipment for the studio. I believe that there was probable cause to conclude that the footage from the DVR system would have shown altercations between Hanley and RW on the night of the 24th, and at minimum would have shown the both of them leaving the studio together shortly before RW's murder. Interviews families, witnesses, and BIGU associates. Enterprises and the associations. Listen, man. On the 27th, 2 days after this murder, detectives spoke with RW's family, which was the first time his family learned that he died. Okay? On January 28th, 2021, the detectives spoke again with his family. Generally, his family confirmed that RW lived in California, worked as a musician. He was recently working with a music producer, Hanley, who was also from California, and Hanley had booked RW's Airbnb and travel. RW's family explained that RW was close with Hanley and trusted him. Hanley coached RW in football since he was young. RW lived with Hanley for a time while in high school. At some point, Hanley believed RW had worn a chain that belonged to Hanley's son to the school without permission, and RW was kicked out of Hanley's home. So RW, they're saying, lived with Hanley at a period of time, might have rocked one of his son's chains to school without permission, and then they kicked him out of the home for that, because, you know, you can't be taking people's shit without asking. Now, RW's aunt, and they're not going to use her name, they just put PM, RW's aunt, added that she called Hanley on the 27th. After learning that he had been killed, Hanley claimed that he had not seen or heard from him and did not know about his whereabouts. She also confronted Hanley about arranging the trip for RW to record in Vegas, and then Hanley admitted he had done so. The aunt had overheard Hanley speaking with someone named KF, whom the investigation later interviewed about RW's travel arrangements. In a later interview during the investigation, the aunt said that Hanley would call her on a weekly basis prior to the murder. But after that call on January 27th, the aunt never heard from Hanley again.
Nope.
Las Vegas detectives learned that CA, a friend of RW, spent the weekend in Vegas and visited RW at the Airbnb that RW was at. According to CA, at around 2 a.m. on Sunday morning on the 24th, Hanley came into the Airbnb, asked RW why he didn't show up to the music studio a day prior. That's right, RW claimed he didn't have a ride to the studio. CA reported that it was odd that Hanley actually took the time to show up at the Airbnb in Vegas to confront him. CA and his friend left for California Sunday afternoon at about 2 p.m., and CA had not heard from him since. Throughout the entire investigation, the family members and friends who have been interviewed have pointed to Hanley as the person they believe responsible for the murder. Within days, multiple people were sending Instagram messages to Hanley demanding answers for what happened. And they all went without a response. Las Vegas searched RW's Instagram. Final message to Hanley regarding price of a song was sent on the 24th At about 1:57 p.m., Hanley did not respond till 2 days later after the killing. That's funny. Hanley left Vegas following RW's murder. In the meantime, the evidence shows that Hanley had seen RW at the studio the night of the 24th. RW had sent that Instagram message. Hanley presumably would have discussed the price of a song at the time, if at all. Thus, it appeared Hanley sent the message on the 26th in an attempt to plead ignorance that RW was murdered to avoid suspicion from law enforcement of his involvement in the murder. On February 23rd, the Las Vegas PD conducted a recorded interview of KF, the person that RW's aunt heard Hanley talk to about the travel arrangements, which were on January 27th. KF was the account manager for Unique Music and handled the artist's travel needs and expenses. KF used KF's mother's Uber account to coordinate rides for RW while RW was in Vegas. KF confirmed that he worked directly for Hanley and had arranged for RW's flight to Vegas. RW was supposed to fly home on Tuesday, the 26th, possibly in the morning. KF also arranged living accommodations for RW at the Airbnb for the week of that January 19th through the 26th. Additionally, KF explained that part of his job was to arrange transportation via Uber to and from the studios for RW, who left 2 controllers and a jacket at the Airbnb that the Airbnb owner contacted KW about. KW used an Airbnb application on his phone to make the reservation, but the account actually belonged to a friend named HT. Okay. It seems like there's a lot going on around all of this and who and how they were making these things happen. Now, we're hitting we just finished page 41, we into page 42. I know this says 33, but and with that being said, you see something here, you all. All right. Right now, we into the whole investigation going on with the Las Vegas PD, RF, and the Hanley murder. Okay. In reviewing the audio of this interview, it is clear that KF hesitated when answering several questions that appeared to be exclusive about several answers. KF claimed that he did not have a phone number for Hanley and had no way to get in touch with him. KF eventually provided Hanley's phone number, but still claimed that he did not know how to get in touch with him and did not know when he would see him again.
Nope.
It don't make sense. I'm just saying. KF also claimed that he did not know the address of the recording studio,
Yeah, boy.
even though KF was the person tasked with the transportation arrangements for RF to get back and forth to the studio. KF also stated that he merely provided Cash App transfers to RW, that RW could book the Uber rides before backtracking and stating that he did the Uber rides for him. So KW claimed that he did not know the name of the music studio or the engineer RW was scheduled to work with. KW advised that RW made music and was supposed to make 1 song per day in Vegas.
Yeah, boy.
KF said RW did not go to the studio on January 19th, was supposed to go every day after that, but probably did not go every day. One day, RW didn't go to the studio and said he would double up the following day. RW texted KF and said that he was enjoying himself and was doing well. When KF called him, he didn't answer. KF texted him, but at a certain point, the text message went green instead of blue. The last time KF received a message from RW was 11:58 p.m. on January 24th, less than 2 hours before the death. When the FBI attempted to interview KF and told him that he told them, "I don't want to speak to you." Soon after the interview of KF, Las Vegas located HT. Yeah. She explained that she did not authorize the use of an Airbnb account and was very upset about it. She explained that her godbrother KF used her Airbnb to book a room in Vegas and learned someone had been killed during the stay. I'd be pissed off too. HT explained that KF used her account to book the room but used his own credit card. HT received a notification regarding the booking and asked KF why would he use an account to book a room. KF apologized and claimed that he did not realize he booked it on her account at the time. HT said that she did not think it was a big deal and did not press the issue. HT did not know RW and explained that she had worked in the medical field. Since KF had used HT's Airbnb account to reserve the room, HT intercepted messages between Airbnb host and KF and provided them to law enforcement. HT saw that the message from KF asking the Airbnb property had video surveillance. HT saw a message that KF had asked about the Airbnb property if it had any video surveillance prior to law enforcement speaking to KF and confronted KF about the message. She did not want her account to be associated with any problems. KF told her about RW's murder again before law enforcement spoke to KF. Interesting. And said that he was trying to figure out what happened to RW. Man. Alright, look. Okay? We digging in right now. We digging into this murder that went on with RW. That's right. And Hanley out there in Las Vegas, allegedly. All right. Time is of the essence as all of this stuff is coming to light. Now, you know there's 107 pages. I'm gonna have to hit the pause button on 43 for you though. Okay, 44 actually. But and then we come back. We're gonna get into the. That's right. We getting into more when we get back. We're gonna get into the titles. We're gonna get into wiretaps. And we're gonna get into information about Hanley's wife. Oh yeah, it's about to get a little more serious up here. But if you feel as though that you got anything from this content, well, we appreciate you checking it out. Thank you for tuning into an episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you the news with a twist. Now, don't forget to keep up, because there's gonna be more as we finish bringing this to you. Oh yeah.
Beefs. And I'm looking at all these niggas, and I'm saying all these niggas got these all securities, like, and I was just tripping off like, this nigga's an ex-basketball player. What is he really gonna do? And this nigga's, and I'm looking at all this shit, and I'm saying to myself like, I'm fresh out of prison.
I'm ready.
And I'm saying to myself like, where the hip hop, where the thugs at? Where the real street niggas at? They didn't have none.